all 18 players Unai Emery sold at Arsenal, and how they've fared since leaving. When all is said and done, it's fair to say that the Unai Emery era will not exactly be looked back on with fondness by Arsenal fans. After 22 years at the helm, Arsene Wenger was always going to be a tough act to follow, even with the struggles and frustrations of his latter years at the club. In the end, Emery was given just a year and a half in North London, with the Spaniard being given the boot to be replaced by Mikel Arteta. However, he still had his impact in North London and he attempted to rebuild a stagnant squad and shift it on no less than 18 players to make room for his own signings. Here's a look at what some of the players Emery sold have been up to since. Arsenal fans were heartbroken to see Santi Cazorla leave in July 2018, but there was little they could do after the Spaniard asked to be released from his contract after injuries meant he had not played for the Gunners in nearly 2 years. He enjoyed an excellent stint at Villarreal, even earning a recall to the Spanish national team, and is now plying his trade in the Qatari Stars League with Al Sadd. Another player released at the beginning of the Emery era, Jack Wilshere joined West Ham on a free transfer following the expiration of his Arsenal contract. Things didn't work out any better for him in East London though, and his injury woes seem to have left clubs scared to sign him. Who is the best player Unai Emery let go at Arsenal who has not yet retired? Let us know in the comments section. Brentford benefited from another lapsed Arsenal contract as they signed Josh Da Silva on a free transfer in August 2018. The 21-year-old has become an important part of the Bees' midfield last season, before succumbing to injury. He was left out of Brentford's 25-man squad for this season as a result. Once tipped to be the next big thing at Arsenal, Emery let Jeffrine Adelaide walk for just £2 million when he made his loan move to Angers a permanent one in the summer of 2018. He impressed in Western France and was sold to Lyon in a deal worth £24 million. He's currently spending the season on loan at Nice. Akbam managed to become an invincible with Greek side PAOK, helping them win their first league title in 34 years, not losing a single game along the way, and bagging a brace in the Greek Cup to deliver the double. He's returned to Middlesbrough before shipping out on loan to PAOK once again. Spanish forward Lucas Perez followed Wilshere in making the short trip from North London to the East End as he joined up with his old teammate at West Ham in a £4 million switch. Things didn't work out at the London Stadium though, and he seems to have found a home at Deportivo Alaves, scoring 11 goals in his first season back in Spain. However, after a poor subsequent campaign he left, had his contract terminated and moved to Elche. After 6 loans in 7 years, Joel Campbell's Arsenal career finally came to an end when he was sold to Italian side Frosinone in 2018. It wasn't the Serie B side who he settled with though, as Mexican club Leon appeared to be able to get the best out of him and splashing £1.8 million to secure his services after an impressive loan spell. However, they then loaned him out to league rivals Monterrey. Another player who made the headlines with some blistering pre-season performances as a youngster, the Gideon Zelalem hype train had firmly come to a halt by the time Emery showed up on the scene. The German-born American midfielder did the rounds in the MLS, initially joining Sporting Kansas City before settling with New York City FC. Perhaps the most controversial departure under Emery, Aaron Ramsey signed for Juventus on a free transfer last summer after his contract expired with the Gunners. It's fair to say he's been a bit hit and miss in Italy, making 24 Serie A appearances in his first full season in Turin before struggling to find fitness this campaign. Arsenal also allowed Danny Welbeck to walk away for nothing last summer, and the 29-year-old made the short trip across London Colney to Watford. He failed to impress at Vicarage Road, scoring just twice all season, but since moved to Brighton where he has, at times, rekindled his old spark. Having arrived at the Emirates to be a steady hand in the Arsenal defense, Stefan Lichtsteiner departed in the summer of 2019 just a year after he arrived. The former Swiss international spent 1 season with Bundesliga side FC Augsburg and has now hung up his boots. After spending Emery's first season out on loan at Napoli, David Ospina made his move permanent, making 10 outings for the side. The Colombian has split time with 23-year-old Alex Merritt, appearing in around half the games so far, which is highly unusual for a goalkeeper. Despite never making a Premier League appearance for the Gunners, many fans were disappointed to see Christian Bielik leave the club permanently when he joined Derby County for around £10 million. He made 20 appearances in his first season with the Rams, but appears to have slipped down the pecking order. You would be forgiven for forgetting Takuma Asano was ever an Arsenal player as the Japanese forward never actually played a game for the Gunners due to issues with his work permit. The club decided to cut its losses when Partizan Belgrade came knocking, and he had a pretty good first season, scoring 9 goals in all competitions. In the summer he signed for VfL Bochum as a free agent. Arsenal fans have experience when it comes to seeing club captains leave, but it still came as a shock when Laurent Koscielny refused to take part in the Gunners' pre-season tour of the USA in order to push through a £4.6 million move to Bordeaux. Since returning to France, the 35-year-old has been a regular for the Ligue 1 side. And who could forget that announcement video? It was a little disappointing that Carl Jenkinson never made the grade at Arsenal, but there were few complaints when the lifelong Gunners fan was sold to Nottingham Forest. The 27-year-old has barely featured for the championship side after suffering an ankle injury almost immediately after joining, and injuries have plagued him ever since. There was a mix of disappointment and surprise when Arsenal sold Alex Iwobi to Everton in a deal that could rise as high as £34 million last August. After a tricky start, the Nigeria international has shown signs of promise at Goodison Park under Rafa Benitez. A few eyebrows were raised when Emery allowed Nacho Monreal to walk on transfer deadline day last August as he joined Real Sociedad. The Spaniard scored on his competitive debut for his new side in a 2-0 defeat of Atletico Madrid and went on to become an important player in helping them securing Europa League qualification.